So good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Iyoha. You're welcome to this digital session known as the V Conversations, hosted by Vertebra Limited. Vertebra is an ICT company with competency in the delivery of cutting-edge software solutions in the continent of Africa. Well, the challenge of developing an acceptable voting system that can stamp out manipulations and falsifications of election results has been a major issue. The consequences of the perception of voting fraud have led to even more upheavals with negative implications. Post-election experiences have informed questions that deserve answers, and even case studies that must be reviewed. Specifically, taking NITAD 2022 elections as a case study, it therefore behoves on us as advocates of e-voting to undertake this review and ask some salient questions. With me on this call is Mrs. Iyoha Abike Igbeyi, BA, PGDM, MA, FITD, FCIHRA. Mrs. Iyoha Abike Igbeyi, she is the president and chairman of Council NITAD. She's an alumnus of the University of Ife, now known as Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. She attended and bagged degrees and certificates from the University of Jos, Stellenbosch University, South Africa, Galilee Institute of Management, Israel, and the National Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, KU, Nigeria. She is a member of the Association of Talent Developers, United States of America. Ms. Igbeyi has well over 20 years of experience in teaching business communication, relationship management, and emotional intelligence at corporate level. Extensive background in training, business communications, and management has equipped her adequately to be one of the finest consultants in our areas of specialization. Our areas of interest are in human resources, training, and development. Join me in congratulating Mrs. Igbeyi on the occasion of her success at the just concluded NITAD elections. So, Mrs. Igbeyi, I start with the first question to you. I hope you can hear me clearly.
I can hear you loud and clear then. Very well.
So my first question to you is, tell us about your journey with NITAD. How has it culminated into being elected the president of the organization?
Well, thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me, Vertebra. It's an honor and a great privilege that I will not take for granted. And I've been with NITAD since 1997, if I'm right. I can't remember precisely, but I've been with NITAD for a while, over 20 years, I think. Over 20 years I've been with NITAD, and it's been a great experience all the while. Very good. Thank you.
So tell us, how would you access the voting process that led to your emergence as the president of NITAD?
It's quite interesting. You know, the journey started 2020, when we're at the peak of COVID, and the election ought to have taken place in April or May of 2020. Somehow we moved that to November 5th, 2020. That was the 9th, when I became the 9th president in November 2020. It was physical. It was physical. We just managed to get enough people to come. They embraced the COVID wahala, and we were able to have the physical election. From then and before then, people have been clamoring for e-voting because people were sort of sidelined, marginalized, as we always say in Nigeria. They couldn't vote from outside Lagos, except those who had the means to come to Lagos for the physical election. And that election of 2020, I always say that left a sour taste in my mouth. And based on what we had before and then, we decided to move forward. So this year, 2022, now brought the emergence of the e-voting. We did everything within November 2020 to May 2022 to ensuring that we have the e-voting and entrench it in the system of NITAD.
Thank you, Mr. Igbeyi. So let's look at electronic voting and the future of elections. What are the lessons for NITAD?
Honestly, I'm so comfortable and at peace with e-voting. Some people always say that my generation, that we are BBC, born before computer, but some of us have decided to ensure that whether we're born before computer, we are part of it. Whether we are native or we are migrants, we want to be part of it. So this year's election, honestly, I was very delighted. Delighted in the sense that we became the trailblazer, we became the pathfinder for e-voting for NITAD. People from across the nation voted, and even some of my friends, I call them friends, professional colleagues and friends, they voted from the diaspora. Some people voted from US. I think one person voted from Canada. I'm sure if we had more people from NITAD, from outside of the country that are NITAD members, they will have voted because we know that those who are financial up-to-date members were the ones to vote. Those ones are in the diaspora voted, and it's a beautiful thing, very beautiful. I was very delighted. I was at peace. And all of us in the team, yes.
Thank you, ma'am. So let's quickly inform our audience out there that we are also streaming live on Facebook. So people in the diaspora too can watch us from anywhere on Facebook, and even after this conversation, you can watch it years after. So my next question is, many times human interaction affects the outcome of elections. Looking at the electronic voting system with the NITAD election as an example, how would you review the lack of human interaction at the voting point and the outcome of the election?
Honestly, you know, as there are many faces, so are our characters and our attitude. So no matter how you want to have the physical interface, there will always be problems, not necessarily people interfering with the vote and the voting process. But when we have human beings, there'll always be last minute intervention somehow. As I said, the 2020 election brought a lot of acrimony. And I just felt in an institute, how many are we that are voting, and human beings, we couldn't consult ourselves, whether we're black, white, or wherever, in spite of the fact that it's just an institute, once the human blood runs in us, we will always have that human issue. So when we had the physical interface of voting, it has always been like that in the past. There will always be issues, people talking after the election, people not satisfied, people going for litigation, whether within and outside of the institute, but not with NITAD. We have never had any litigation anyway, whether physical or the last one that we had, the e-voting. But the e-voting lent credence, authenticity, integrity to any voting process, any voting process. Thank God ours is a learning and development institute. Everybody, if not all, is computer literate. The lesson from NITAD is that most institutes should go the way of e-voting, and in the larger society, the level of literacy will affect that if we say we want to use that for the Nigeria election. But anyway, maybe one day, somewhere, somehow, part of the Nigeria election will be e-voting, where we can sit in our homes and vote. For those of us that wouldn't want to go out there and queue in the sun and in the rain, because at the last Nigerian election, I was in the rain. I used my chair as umbrella when the umbrella could not withstand the rain anymore. But learning from the NITAD, lessons from NITAD, honestly, e-voting is the way to go. Okay.
So thank you, ma'am. So I'll quickly go to the next question. I want you to tell us about the voting environment, the software solution. Some will argue that navigating through such environment could be difficult for the electorate. What is your
I don't think it's difficult for anybody that is computer savvy or digital in this age, because if you are a learning and development professional, for crying out loud, you can run away from technology. You can run away from IT. Okay, saying that old school or whatever, it is not right. We should be able to ensure that we move learning and development space to the people that need it, not necessarily within the immediate environment, but the larger society, so, or the larger client. So what do we need to do? We need to, as L&D professionals, make sure we get it right, because people look at us, people look up to us, and they want to be like us. And we need to be able to showcase what L&D is all about. And this is my take on the environment. The environment, for those who want to be L&D professionals who are still transiting there, please, as you go along, take IT along, because you can't do without it. Once upon a time, we used to use overhead projector, flip chart board. Overhead projector is gone forever. Nobody will use it. It's now for the archives. So the environment, the Nigerian environment, we should move to IT as a L&D professional. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Let's looking at the global adoption of technology. NITAD is an institute, it's a futuristic organization. What are your plans to inculcate more technology into your processes?
Okay, NITAD has been in existence for the past 3 years. We've been following the trend in L&D, and now here we are. I wouldn't say the nation has arrived in the area of technology to get to the level of the developed world, but we are there, we're getting there. And I tell you, all through last year, that's 2021, all our council meetings were virtual. Some of us outside of the country, some of us in there, we did not have any physical until December, when we had our lunch and learn, which is something that we've been doing every year. And that is only to just get people together. And that time, the COVID pandemic had waned a little. Waned, maybe not a little more, maybe more, maybe let's say a little, because it's still there. So what I'm saying is that NITAD is there. We are doing what we need to do to get closer to our stakeholders. Our website is up for review so that we get more engagement from our people, to get more engagement from those who are even transiting to be L&D professional. Because one thing with NITAD, what we've been trying to do over 33 years of existence, is that we want to ensure that it's not everybody that says, I am a trainer. That is what's being called an L&D professional. Okay, some people sort of equate motivational speaking to training. No, there are a world of difference. So we at NITAD, we're trying to, we have, and we are still on the journey to ensuring that people are technology savvy. We have over 5,000 members in different walks of life. So we boast of that. And what we do is that all these people, we ensure that they get in sync with the ethics and conduct of the profession. Thank you.
Thank you, man. So quickly, the fear of online intruders or hackers who might compromise elections are a real bane to the adoption of technology in voting. As a professional organization in training and development, how can your organization drive awareness and understanding of this situation with your trainings and processes?
You see, as I said before, that we have different professions in all walks of life in NITAD. What we are doing is that we are engaging our members who are into that data security, those who are into IT security, cyber security, anything cybercrime. And that is why when we go out there and we market our programs, we take these people along to ensure that we get it right. Because when it comes to hacking is a great business to some people, but some people use it for profit. Some people use it to ensure that we just hack into. Some use it as a pastime. So when they now see that it's profitable, we want to now go out there and say, protect your data. We have people who are specialists in data protection in NITAD. We showcase them, and anytime that people want to talk about data protection, cyber security, cyber crime, we bring them forward, because it's always said, bring your better or your best foot forward. So, and that is what we do in NITAD. Anytime we have a webinar series, which are usually free, we showcase these people to show that what you need to do when you are using the electronic system or the IT, what do you need to do? So we do webinars every month, and there are different ways in which we sort of have interface, engage our stakeholders to know the implications of what can be done when you are having electronic voting. But having electronic voting, I don't think people could hack. Essentially, let me patronize Vertebra. When we decided to take Vertebra, we had some other vendors, other consultants, but when Vertebra came to present to council, we saw some salient things that other vendors or consultants did not bring on board. And we now felt that even if somebody decides to go to court or there is a litigation, Vertebra has our back. Okay, so that was one of the reasons we decided to choose Vertebra over others. And in electronic voting, we keep improving. And I'm sure there are some other areas that maybe after the discussion, we can get Vertebra to talk about that. But I'm sure electronic voting is the way to go for inclusiveness of voters. Thank you.
For that brief testimonial that you gave to Vertebra. So I'll quickly go to my next question. As a professional organization in training and development, your organization has played a critical role in the development of professionals in the public and private sectors, and this cuts across industries. In fact, I stumbled on a picture of one of the presidential aspirants in the country, in fact, one of the leading presidential aspirants in the country. He appears he's an alumni of your organization. How has NITAD been able to achieve this over the years?
Oh, thank you. So maybe after now, I'll ask you so that we can go and hook up with the aspirant. Please, I'll get to see so that we can quickly see how we can help him and he will help us. Anyway, what you've been doing, as I told you, that we've been on for 33 years. 3-3. If you have not been doing it right and we have not been doing it well, we have not been impacting lives, I'm sure we will have gone under. Lots and lots of organizations or institutes have gone under, but we have been impacting lives. So saying that what have we done for our members? We have been engaging them. We have been asking them, how can we serve you better? You know, life is about moving forward. It is said that a great white shark should not stand still. If it does, it will die for lack of oxygen. So what does it mean? We keep moving forward. We always move. What we were 33 years ago is not what we are today. What we were 5-10 years ago is not what we are today. So we have been moving, engaging our members, those who know, those who have been able to venture into the outside world, those who have been able to venture into the developed world. And we have collaboration with some other institutes, some other associations that will help us get there. What do we want to do? We want to ensure that people who say, I am an L&D professional, they are up to it. That is what we have been doing. And thank you.
So quickly on my next question. The intersection between humans and technology has created a nexus for change. Change is why we're having this conversation on the web. What is your philosophy for change? How
Oh,
are you putting this into the role as the lead for NITAD?
I believe in change. I believe in change. Change, it's always said, is the most constant thing in life. From cradle to the grave, we learn and we go through what changes here and there, and not just changes that will impact life, changes that will make sure that the way I met you is not the way I'm leaving you. I should leave you better than I met you, not just leaving you, giving you change, but leaving you better than I met you. And that is the story of NITAD. Our founding fathers knew that there is the need for people to learn. And learning should not be a one-off thing. Learning should be something that should sit with the individual after learning. So what we're saying is that the interface between technology and human being is very important, very, very important. And that is the essence that we are here now. I'm in my house, you are there, people are on Facebook, and they're watching us. That is the interface between human being and technology. And you know something? People have been talking about AI and all other technological advancement. Yes, the human being must be there for the technology to work. And remember, technology is fashioned by man to make things easier for man. So what we need to do is ensuring that we need to get technology to be on the positive side. Earlier we talked about cybercrime and hackers and all. We know there will always be the other side of the coin. Coin usually has the two sides, the head or the tail, depending on which you call the positive or the negative. What we should do is that let's mitigate the negative effect of technology. But for crying out loud, the world is moving into technology. Remember, we are in the fourth industrial revolution, where Internet of Things holds sway, artificial intelligence, digitalization. All of this affect change in the human life. And we need to train human beings to be able to manage the AI so that AI will work for us better. That is my take on change.
Thank you, Ma. I have pulled a lot of information from you thus far on the wealth of experience. But I want to know, what can you highlight as the most interesting benefit of your recent electronic voting experience as against the traditional one? So in essence, what I'm saying is, as against the traditional model, and now that you have moved to the technological model, what is the most interesting benefit thus far?
Oh, interesting benefit is that we have been able to get our members who have been marginalized, sidelined. We now have what we call inclusive voting. People are now say, yes, I'm now part of NITAD. Those who felt that they were not there before, they are now included in the scheme of things. And the voting has made them to be aware. Those who felt, oh, NITAD, what have you been doing? We have been there and we want to contribute. This voting has opened up the space for them to come in, to participate. Now, everybody, we have more members coming on board. What is happening? What are we doing? If you had told me earlier that you are going to showcase us on Facebook, I will advertise this. Our members will have hooked on. We'll have had more than the numbers that we have, attendees that we have now. Only those who are on Facebook, maybe who are on Facebook most times, will be on this. However, I will tell them later that they can hook on to the rebroadcast of what we are having now. But for us, e-voting has opened up the space and wider, bigger for us to show that NITAD is there for them for our stakeholders all the time and our members. Thank you.
Thank you. So in May 2021, you told the Guardian newspaper, and I quote you, for infants, we are expanding the Institute's presence in various parts of the country. Already, we have made tremendous achievements in establishing training facilities in Edo, Kano, Kaduna, Bayelsa, and Delta states. What will be the role of technology in this expansion?
I will not say we have facilities. I said we have branches, and we leverage on our relationship with or our collaboration with some federal government agencies, and we are able to get closer, as we always say in Nigeria, to the grassroots. And these branches link up with the national in Lagos. We have, as you rightly said, in all those places that were mentioned, technology has brought them closer to us. We have social media interaction with them. We are on WhatsApp with them daily. We are on emails, on other social media platforms. We are on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram with them. So whatever means that we can deploy technology to our advantage, as I rightly said, we want to get more members to get engaged with us. You know, as it's always said that 2 good heads are better than 1. When we have more heads, and it's always said when 10 we chase 1,000, 100 we take 10,000. So the more the merrier, and that is what we call teamwork. And teamwork cannot work without technology, and that is the essence of our getting vertebra to ensuring that we got vertebra to handle our e-voting in May.
Thank you, so for the next couple of questions, I would like to digress a bit. And that last question you answered now has snowballed into this very important question. Let's look at learning management. Has there been an advanced solution to managing your learning process, like the use of technology, knowing that yearly your institute delivers a plethora of trainings? How are you advancing this, using technology to deliver trainings?
You see, as we have been hammering on this, that technology you can do without that. The NITAD has been in the forefront of ensuring that we deploy technology. We have people in-house that are assisting us to get to our members. We have members in-house that are ensuring that what do we need to do next? What we do after deploying training to places, whether in-house, in-plant, on the job, or even open programs, and even in our conferences. One is coming up in Ibadan in August, and we have invited, and we're still inviting people from the diaspora. They will not come physical. We'll be able to reach out to them and ensuring that we satisfy them. Last year, we had some people from when we had the program, the conference in Abeokuta, we had people from the diaspora that hooked onto to the conference, and they were able to participate in the program. So NITAD is in the forefront of saying you cannot deploy training without technology. You cannot deploy training without technology, no matter what you do. Even from the time of yore, as we always say, we knew that it's not every training program that you can do in the classroom. There are some things that you cannot bring into the classroom. Let's take, for instance, the issue, the training of pilots. It's always a simulation is part of it. And it's from the days of yore, even before technology became everyday use now. People were using that, okay, there are some things you need the technology to bring to the participants or to the attendees, which they cannot see, either through simulation. Now, you know, they have what they call this this thing that the virtual reality. Virtual reality assists, and these are some of the things that when we do our train the trainer, we engage our members and say, you cannot just sit in front of the participant 1 hour 2 hours without engaging them. Virtual reality, artificial intelligence, robotics, and some other things, you can bring them in. They don't have to be the expensive ones. Get the ones that you cannot, that will bring variety, creativity, and innovation into the learning session. If not, people will get tired. They get tired listening to you or listening to a couple of people. Virtual reality is something that you can bring in. It's a form of gamification in your training process. And NITAD has been at the forefront that please ensure you bring in games and you bring in virtual reality into some of this to ensure that people get attached and there's an impact of your learning session. Thank you.
Thank you. It is like 3 years of the existence of NITAD, with thousands of trainings and development strides that has been engaged upon. What is the future looking like for NITAD?
Oh, the future is bright, very bright. One day, God keeping all of us, we'll celebrate 50, we'll celebrate 100, like those 100 clubs on CNN, and they say 100 clubs. One day we may be here, we may not be here, but God willing, the future is very bright in the sense that, as I always tell people, that in NITAD, we take care of you outside of your comfort zone. Some people say, hey, when I retire, what do I do? Even before retirement, what can I do? Look inside of yourself, do a self-review, do a self-analysis, and see what is my strong area? What is my area of strength? If it is impacting knowledge, not necessarily motivational speaking, in your area of profession, I know what I can do, but how to do it is part of the trick that NITAD will give you. So the future is bright. Bright for those who are upcoming, those who are joining in to be L&D professional. Nobody is born to be an L&D professional. Please mind you, it's different from personnel management. L&D. A personnel manager can be an L&D professional. An L&D professional will take a personnel manager on the journey to be an L&D person. Because when you leave your job as a personnel manager and you don't have the skill of an L&D professional, please, you are not there. This is part of why we want to ensure that if you are a mechanic, if you are a soft skill person or hard skill, learn the how to impact and train, give people the learning, because training could be a one-off. Learning is a lifelong experience. Continuous and never-ending improvement is what NITAD will give unto you, and we take care of you outside of your comfort zone. When you feel that, how will this, my profession, how will this, my skill, give me my daily bread? And that is what we're talking about. Thank you.
Thank you, man. So to our audience, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat room. We'll pick up the questions from there. I want to quickly ask you now, with the general mood in the country today with regards to voter apathy and vote buying, will your institution be considering the possibility of adding trainings that help promote the adoption of technology as the future of the ballots?
Yes, if we are engaged to do that, we will. In our own little space, we tell our members what to do and how to go about it. You know, there's so many people out there who say, we can do it, but it's not everybody that can do it. What we do is that we will engage our members within our own space. You know, there's this saying that Operation One impact one. If within our space we have one person impacting someone outside of NITAD, we will have done something. But what we should do is that they should vote buying and all those things. The agencies that are involved should engage NITAD. The political parties should not only look at politics, they should look at educating, training, making them to learn that this too shall pass, but what will we be left with? What will be the future of the voters? This is part of what NITAD can do. Well, I hope that one day somebody like that presidential candidate that you are going to tell me after now will be able to carry the torch and say there is an institute that can do that for us, for Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, man. So we've come to an end of this conversation, and I must agree that this has been a very interesting conversation. You've been able to enlighten us on quite a number of issues, and we know that you're a very busy person, and we don't want to take too much of your time. We just want to ask if you have any questions for us as Vertebra.
Vertebra, thank you for doing a good job. We expect that you too, you carry the e-voting to those in politics, the bigger Nigerian politics. Because we see that outside of this country, maybe US or wherever, when there is an election, national election, those who are not in the country can vote. There are a lot of Nigerians in the diaspora. And if we are able to try it once and we get it right, we may not get it right, we keep correcting, but let them engage those who are in the diaspora. A majority of our people are out there who are yearning to make the change with their one vote. And that was what happened with me in 2020, November 5th, 2020. One vote made a difference. The physical vote that we had in 2020, the other contestant had 186. I had 187. One vote can make the difference. One. So there are a lot of people out there that their one vote will make the difference, and will go down in history as part of those people that made the difference and made the change happen in Nigeria. It is our turn to have good governance. It is our turn to be the Nigeria have the Nigeria of our dreams. Some of us enjoyed some things when we were young. We want our children's children to enjoy it. Thank you very much for having me back. Thank you for doing a good job.
On behalf of the management of Vertebra and staff, the MD, CEO, and the Deputy Managing Director, we say thank you and we appreciate your presence in our session. We will continue to further these conversations. Probably we'll bring some more propositions to you in the areas of management solutions, in the areas of learning management, we call e-learning, social management solutions. We have all this. I will take that conversation to you. Thank you, man. And have a blessed day. God bless
you. Thank you, Vertebra. And thank you, Ben. Thank you for having me. Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.